Hi, good morning. I'm Krishnanand Mishra, Assistant Professor, Department of English, PRPS College, Baigni, Darbhanga. In this video, we are going to discuss All the World is a Stage, a poem by William Shakespeare. But before we discuss the poem, we need to understand few things about Shakespeare. The questions which we'll be trying to discuss in this video. First of all, who is Shakespeare? What is or why he is relevant even today? That is another question that comes in our mind. That he was in Elizabethan or Jacobean age, he belongs to 16th century, but still we read Shakespeare. So what is it simply because that it is in our syllabus, or has it got some relevance? So that is the question we need to discuss. Another important thing that we need to focus is what are the reasons for the universal and timeless appeal of Shakespeare, because it is considered and it is there, because that when we will discussing the major themes of Shakespeare's plays, sonnets, okay, then we will see that how he is relevant even in 21st century. The themes which he discusses in his dramas, in his poems, were relevant in his time, in his contemporary period, and they are quite relevant in this context. Okay, so in this century also. So that is the one thing, and it is because of this reason that we are reminded of Ben Jonson's quote about him, that he says about Shakespeare that he was not of an age but of all age. Okay, so we will be focusing on these things also, that why he is relevant even today. The another question that comes in our mind, as we have already I have mentioned, that without understanding the context, and it is said that the context condition decide the meaning, without understanding the contemporary period, the major thought currents of the time, we cannot understand the writer. Okay, the written words on the page, okay, as some critics say, that are not sufficient to understand the meaning. It won't give you the adequate understanding of the particular text. So before discussing Shakespeare, we need to focus on all these things also, that because the shaping and nurturing of a genius is very we can say that the age or the period is responsible for, or is very instrumental in the shaping and molding of the genius of the writer. So writer is the product of his age. So that we have to discuss. So for a deep and comprehensive understanding, we need to focus on all this, because without familiarity with the historical context, our evaluation and understanding of literature of the time would be inadequate. Okay, so we will be focusing on the historical aspects also, that what are the things which were, because without understanding this we cannot go ahead. So this is the one thing. And I am here also reminded of the one quote by W.H. Hudson in this connection. He is basically focusing on the idea that to understand a work in entirety, we need to acquaint ourselves with the dominant thoughts, dominant socio-economic, political, historical condition of the time. So we have to focus on all these things also. So he says, I quote W.H. Hudson, every man belongs to his race and age. Every man belongs to his race and age, no matter how marked his personality. The spirit of his age and race finds expression through him. So there is the key, that how the spirit of the age and race finds key through him. So we will be discussing. So there is always a relationship between history and literature that we have to explore. Okay, because in this connection, he further says, W.H. Hudson, I quote, that ordinary English history he says, is our nation's biography. Its literature is its autobiography. Okay, so that is the thing. Another thing we will be discussing, what are the major themes and philosophies of his writings. Okay, so all these things will be exploring. Okay, because just for example, why he is universal, why he is timeless, what are the philosophy in each and every writing of Shakespeare. We find he gives a philosophy, and they are loaded with the practical wisdom. Okay, the pragmatic wisdom. Okay, so these things we find in his writing. For example, just when we read Othello, so there is another very good concept of Aristotelian concept called hamartia. Hamartia means tragic flaw. Tragic flaw means fatal flaw, a flaw which can really destroy a person's life career. So that is called tragic flaw. Okay, in spite of having all the qualities, all the positive qualities we can say, or the great qualities in a person, if he has some serious flaw in his personality, that can ruin his life. So that is the thing. So in Othello we find he suffers from sexual jealousy, and ultimately that causes his downfall, that causes his decay and death. So there he warns readers against the follies and foibles of human nature, that how we can avoid this King Lear. King Lear, he is, victim of favoritism, partiality. Okay, so he has that, you can say, the lust for that flattery. So finally King Lear meets his downfall. So here Shakespeare warns the readers us that maintain the equanimity in your behavior. There shouldn't be any partiality. So all these things we'll be exploring in the subsequent videos. Thank you.